Hello, and we are back with another Two From Home weekend preview. We had a fantastic weekend last weekend when Matty was on the team. I think we all found winners. It was so profitable, one of the best of the year so far, so long may it continue. That's the positive news out of the way. Bit of sad news, obviously Bosworth passed away earlier. Everyone knows Bosworth. He was a proper legend, passed away at the grand old age of 17. Heart of a lion in so many ways. Thoughts go out to the Varga family. We give him a happy retirement. They really did welcome him into their family. Their little boys rode him out most days. He was just racing royalty, and I've actually got a photo of him in my hallway. So every time I'm coming from work, he's the first face I see. Jay, what's your favourite Bosworth memory?
There was a good few of them over the years, wasn't he? You know what? Surprisingly for me, it was the last race of his career when he went back ahead, when he sort of lost his way a little bit. He was getting older. He's about 50 or 66 to 1 at this stage that year. The year Thistlecraft crack bolted up, and then you see him at the end running on past beating horses to get third. I just thought that race just showing everything what Bosworth was about, really. He never really gave up and kept going all the way, and that was the last time we've seen him on the track. But when you look back to his career, like he was an unbeaten novice hurdler, wasn't he? The year he won the Albert Bartlett. Just a great horse, and obviously he's a huge loss for racing.
Definitely. I mean, I remember a lot of his races. I remember the Gold Cup, beaten at the bottom of the hill. I was thinking he's got no chance from there. Put my head down, and next minute the commentator's gone, Bosworth's eating up the ground. I've looked up, and
there he was.
There he was, and he just stayed on up the hill past the Shompton long run. And like I say, then his last run of his career, it just showed how much he loved racing, how much he gave his all. He was just a fantastic horse. Harry, what's your favourite memory of good old Bob's?
Yeah, I think it would be the Lexus Chase in 2013, beating First Lieutenant. Like I said, back in those days, not many horses from here would go over to Ireland and chance their luck. And it just shown his class. He can go over to there, he can do it whenever. Like I said, heart of a lion, just a true champion.
Yeah, I think it shows his class, doesn't it? Joe, if Henderson was prepared to send one over to Ireland.
Definitely does. He's won so many races, Bosworth, and he'll be missed from everyone in racing. So we move on to start with the weekend's racing now, and it looks a great weekend on paper. And we have got the big matchup that no one thought would happen. Jay still isn't to believe that it will happen, but we'll see. Still got 48 hours now until the big race. So
yeah.
We'll start off at Haydock, and one of Harry's favourite horses in training. He's going to line up his favourite. So Harry, kick us off, please.
Yeah, John Bon, 4-9, should be around about 1-6 on. It ain't a betting race. You shouldn't be backing any short prices like this. I just think get a nice cup of coffee waiting, get it nice and brewing, get a little toasted dunk in it, and just watch a class horse. You don't need to bet to watch a good horse. Like I said, I think an absolutely lot of hair. He's the best horse in a race by an absolute mile away. Prep run for Cheltenham, and he'll win that too.
Okay. Jay, what would you like to see from John Bond, and are we going to see anything that has you worried about your supreme bet?
I think what we need to see from John Bon is a race in him from start to finish where they're racing at a proper tempo for 2 miles. Harry's right, he is by far the best horse in the race, there's no doubt about that. He's 2-5, I'm not going to be back on 2-5s, but I wouldn't just take him on for the sake of it either. But I do think there is reason to take him on, to be honest. If this will be the softest ground he would have encountered, it'll be his first proper test where there's going to be horses actually racing against him. He's not going to have it all his own way. There's some really promising horses in this field. They might be overlooked because the trainers who they're trained by and no big fancy entries, but I think there's some pretty solid types in it. He's got to carry that grade 2 penalty as well. I'm hoping Paddy Power do a market where you can back the horse to win, or you can just back him to lose. They normally offer quite stingy prices on that. Well, I'll have a little go on that, just backing him to lose. But I don't know, I wish there was an extra horse in this race to make it 8 runners for each way backers, because for me, Lebowski would be the main one that I'd like. He's 25-1. He's been very, very impressive in his 2 runs. Form hasn't worked out too bad either, if I'm being honest. He's rated 127, but you've got to sort of ignore his rating. He'll be leading here. He'll give John Bon a race of it anyway. And if John Bon flies past him 2 out, then fair play. He's done something we've not seen of him before, and it's something we need to see him do. But yeah, I really like him. And Donny Boy for Scudamore. I think, is it Scudamore he trains him?
Donny Boy's Alexander.
It's for the same owners who has done with Scudamore, isn't it? I was getting them mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's unbeaten in 3. He's run 2 over hurdles. He's beaten on, but he's been very impressive in doing it. He's another one who'll be there underestimated. He's about 20 to 1. Richmond Lake as well, another horse on the improve. He's got a good future ahead of him. Obviously, I'm not going to start backing every horse in the race to try and get John Bon beat, but Grabowski will be my main one. I might back him anyway. I definitely would do him each way if there was an extra runner, but my main bet would probably be just back John Bon to lose this race.
Right, okay. I'm not you, Jay. It's a shame there's 8 runners get 3 places. I may have played, if it was 3 play, I may have played Now Sun each way. I think he's a solid horse. He's won 3 times for 5, 1 hurdle debut before being runner-up. I think he will love the track and the ground, but with John Bon in the field, it's hard to oppose him and try and find just the one place behind him. Now Sun has got a lot of form, a lot to find on ratings, but it's distinctly possible. But John Bon needs to win. He should win, and racing needs him to win so he can continue the back and forth battle about the Supreme.
I actually tipped up about one. I've tipped up for a put on Twitter. It'd be good to see Lebowski running in the Tolworth Hurdle after the other last win. Remember that? But then just as well, he never actually ran into Constitution Hill, didn't he? Well, he would have. But what's interesting Saturday, John Bon's got to beat Mai Tai, and Mai Tai obviously put him in his place by 14 lengths, and Mai Tai was entering that Grade 1 to take on Constitution Hill again. But Harry Fry come out and said, we've been beat once, we're not going to beat him again, we'll go elsewhere. So the fact he's avoided him, he's come here to meet John Bon. Be interesting to see if John Bon can put distance between them like he did.
Definitely. It's an interesting watch for further forward.
Yeah.
So move on to the 2 o'clock now, which is the new one, Unibet Hurdle, Champion Hurdle Trial. I'm glad to see Tommy's Oscar in this, Jay. I know you have as well.
Yeah, he'll just win it, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a wonderful horse. He started off with 2 defeats, and I started to question his level of ability. I thought, I might have had it wrong here, but he's since rattled off 3 victories. He's moving to a rating of 156 now. He's 1-on-1 at Haydock. He stays further than 2 miles. A lovely cruising speed, which allows him to hurdle accurately. Big shock if he gets beat. It's great to see Danny McMenamin back in the saddle after a nasty injury. I'm expecting Tommy's Oscar to win and win well, really. Harry, you with Tommy's Oscar?
Yeah, like I said, 8 to 11, but he's the best horse on ratings by quite a mile. He's only got up £6 for his last win, 3 on the bounce. Like I say, he's going to love conditions, stays further, even if it does cut up the ground. Everything plays in his favour. Like I said, if you're wanting to back an odds-on shot like this, you've got everything in your favour. And I think with Tommy's Oscar, you are. So I'd say 8 to 11 more than a fair price and should be getting 4 on the banks.
He's a bigger price than John Bon, but I think he's a much safer bet.
Yeah, if you're basing it on opposition and everything in his favour, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Then.
So you're seeing Navajo passes out again, Jay? Is he an each way angle, if there is one?
Probably not, to be honest, Joe. They're just starting to get him nicely handicapped, and they put him in a Grade 2. I can see why. It's a bit of a weak race, isn't it? The Champion Hurdle Trial, but I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? He'll probably run his race come second or third, but I never in a million years see him beating Tommy's Oscar.
Well, after Tommy Oscar, then. Is it lovely to Fran Hamilton? I hope he does go to Champion Hurdle. Surely if he wins tomorrow, even though it's a weak race, he warrants that next.
I hope he does. He's Britain's best 2 mile hurdle. He needs to be, doesn't he? It's got to be there. Definitely.
So pretty much got 2 favourites going in so far, and the next race is a lot more competitive. That's the Peter Marsh. Jay, are you going Haydock on Saturday?
It's up in the air at the minute. Most likely, yeah. In fact, I most likely will be going.
Yeah. What do you fancy in the Peter Marsh?
Empire Steel again. He's only carrying 10 stone 4, and after 3 mile 1 at Haydock on testing ground, that 10 stone 4 will come in handy. Getting a lot of weight, obviously, because Venetia Williams also is running Royal Big Eye. He's 100%. Like, there's no doubt in my mind Empire Steel would have won the Royal America if he had stood up 4 out. Every single horse in that race was walking and starting to paddle. He was still on the bridle going well. I don't even know how he fell, but I just hope he puts that 4 behind him, comes to Haydock, lands a nice prize, and away he goes. He's still well handicapped up 140 for me, and I think there was a stat, I haven't written it down, but I think it's like 7 of the last 9 winners of this have carried like 11 stone 2 or less, and he's only got 10 stone 4, so I think he's got a great chance, to be honest.
Yeah. Harry, What are your thoughts?
Yeah, not the biggest of fancies in this race. I'd love to see Royal Guy win, although carrying top weight, even though conditions will be in his favour, will be quite testing. Like I said, just a little bit on Royal Guy. If you are backing him, form around the track's amazing. 2 wins in a second. Obviously, last time in the Betfair Chase. But for me, I'm going to have a small bet on Kaluki. Last time won at Doncaster on testing ground, beating Cat Tiger on the nose. But for me, £5, I don't think it really justifies that when he went the distance that he won. Although he does carry 10 stone 6, they will need to go quite hard up front. But with Haydock, they come in very, very strung out and slow. So for me, 10-1 on Kaluki, depending on where you chop and prices and etc. I think if he does drift out to about 12-1, I think it's a more each way bet.
And you mentioned Kaluki there. I think Cat Tiger runs an hour earlier at Ascot. So that Cat Tiger goes in, there's your kind of like form angle.
Exactly.
I don't get the hype around Royal Guy. He won a poor Peter Marks last year, in my opinion. And next minute he's rated 166. I mean, second in the Betfair Chase has done nothing to enhance his reputation at all, in my opinion. If he wins Saturday, I'll admit I'm wrong, but I think he's got a lot more on his plate this year in this renewal. Remastered had that bad fall in the Ladbroke before being beaten last time out. On with Jay, I think the standout one is Empire Steel. Let's not forget, rightly or wrongly, he slammed Protectorat by 41 lengths or something. Yeah, Protectorat might not be fully wound up or something wrong, but on the paper, it was a good performance. And bad fall last time out. He was going well, but would he have won? 4 rounds a long way out, but likely it is like Jay. I think he would have. He's never been out the front three under rules when finishing a race. He had that bad fall last time out. And the other one, he was pulled up in the Grade 1 at Aintree on spring ground, which he would have hated. So I think Sandy Thompson's Empire Steel's got a lot in his favour this year. And I think he'll go well. Was he, Jay, about 5-1?
5-1 he is, yeah. I thought he was when I was picking my picks out anyway.
I think that's a fantastic bet.
Yeah.
That's good the action from Haydock for the ITV races. We're going to move on to Ascot now, and that's the 145. Harry, do you want to have first go at this? It's a very competitive handicap, really.
Yeah, you've hit on the nose there. Very competitive indeed. The one I like here is Ngolo. Previously single mini runnings in Ireland. Had some really classy form. Won a Grade 2, placed in a Grade 1. I think when he was doing that, it was around about a mark of 137, 140. Significantly lower today. Switched stables. First run at Hereford, finished 4th. Decent one, always up in the place. Just pitted out the end. Forgive that because it was off a small layoff. If he comes on for that run, 14-1 with Kevin Brogan on taking on a free. At a track which I think will suit. And like I said, if conditions aren't too soft and it's just nice, genuine ground, I think 14-1 could be a great each way play.
Yeah, the conditions should definitely not get any worse anyway. There's no rain due at all. I like to always take note of Chris Gordon runners at Sandown, Kempton and Ascot. You always seem to smuggle a little Saturday winner in there somewhere most weekends now. And Hyadock going great guns this season. Smurfy Yankee, he stands out for me. He's got a hot bumper form. He was 4th in 2020 behind Iron Maximus and Mydrogo and listed bumper at Cheltenham. That was a strong enough run. A couple of nice hurdle races. Prompted connections to run him in the Tolworth, won by Metier. So they obviously think a lot of this horse. He pulled up in that Tolworth, but still, to warrant an entry, I thought was quite braver connections. He finished last season with victory at Plumpton. He hasn't won this season. He's had 2 runs. He was 7th for a runner-up last time. That's dropped him to a 127 rating from a peak 132. I think if he finds his mojo, he definitely has a race like this in his locker. There's plenty in here which are like very similar. I think he's maybe the standout one with a bit of room in his mark still. So Smurfy Yankee each way is a good little each way selection. Jay, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so I like Unexpected Party in this. He's 9-2, 5-1, something along them lines. I didn't know who he was, and then he caught my attention at Cheltenham. He was wide most of the way around, and he was making mistakes in that. And if you stop that race, jumping 2 out, if you just stop that race and say to anyone who's going to win this race, you'd ask 100 people, I'd say 99 of them would say Unexpected Party. He was just going so well. And then you play the replay from that point on. Sam Twiston-Davies just absolutely steals the race on Gala Road round the bend, just goes and scoots a few lengths clear, and that's the race put to bed. He does chase him up the hill, but he's stole too much of a gap. Obviously, he was a brilliant eye catcher. Everyone was, obviously, it was fairly obvious, everyone seeing the race. And then That's seeing him go off 8-13 favourite for the handicap hurdle on Boxing Day. And you could see his class in that race. He went clear on the run to the last. I think he went about 5 lengths clear. He just got a bit lonely and inexperienced. Had a good look at the hurdle. Ended up walking right through it. Landed with no momentum. And let the horse that he had just put away and already beat come back at him and run past him. Really frustrating that he gave that race away the way he did. But I think that was only his 5th run over hurdles. It's probably the longest he'd been out in front for. I think he'll have learned a lot from that, and I think Harry Skelton would have learned a lot from how to ride him. I don't think he'd be putting him in the front too soon here. The way he travels, he'll have no problem putting this horse where he wants to put him in this race at any moment. He's such a strong traveller. You can have him in the perfect position. Whatever's in front, just get a nice lead up until the last, then go after the last, kick on and go and win the race.
Okay, very good. Confident selection there from Jay. 220 at Ascot now, and this only just highlights the mares at the minute. They really are a good bunch, and this is a very good race. So I can't wait to win this race. And Harry, we know you like Dan Scowen. Are you with Dan Scowen, who's got the favourite in this?
Yeah, it's got to be. Molly's Ollie's Wishes, around about 5-2. She's an absolute classy horse, to say the least. Last 3 times she's raced in Mare's Company, she's won all 3. One of those were in a handicap, and the other 2 were in listed races. Before that, you just got to look at her class. She's been tried against the boys, tried against the Spirit Hurdle, and then last time at Ascot in the Carl Hurdle. Just take those 2 off. She's coming into this in top class form. I think Matty said, a few weeks ago when he was on, this horse in Mare's races just mopped him up. And you're getting 5-2. I could easily see this going around about 5-4 on a day. I think she's the classiest horse in this field. 5-2, I think, is the price.
Okay. Jay, are you with Molly's Ollies?
Yeah, we gave Harry a bit of stick last week for being a Dan Skelton fanboy, but I'm going to sound like one myself because I'm with Molly's Ollies Wishes here as well. Harry's pretty much covered everything I was going to say about it anyway. 5 wins from 14 starts over hurdles. Ignore the last 2 runs against Geldens. If you ignore them, she would have won the last 4 starts against Mares. A 3rd in the game Spirit. She was behind Fabulous and Bring Up a Storm. I think even that form alone would be standout in this race. The grade 2 at Ascot, yeah, Matty tipped her up last time. I remember it was about 5-6-1. She drifted out to about 14-1 on that day and ran a horrible race. It was like they just knew she wasn't right. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if she was in season or something that day. The way she ran, she just dropped out too, and that's not like her at all. I think the key to her is getting her back against her own sex here. This grade 2 is not like the last 2 grade 2s she's running, and having Skelton back on board is going to be a bonus for her. Interestingly enough, I think Roxana won this last year for the Skeltons, and they're sort of trying to get this horse to mould into the Roxana. Well, try and be Roxana, but she hasn't got nowhere near that ability. And I know you were saying then the mares are a good bunch in that job, but I think they're pretty modern at myself. But I do think Molly's Ollie's Wish is a bit ahead of the rest of them.
Okay, well, I'm not going to make it 3. Anything for love.
Come to the Dan Skelton fan club, Joe.
No, I just can't do it. Not yet, anyway. Anything for love and Royal Chili Philly. They only ran 2 weeks ago on bad ground on Tolworth Day, so I worry about that may have took the edge off that pair. Molly's Ollies was tried against the boys last time out and it didn't work, but that means nothing really when today's race is put in the equation. I find it hard to split Western Victory and My Sister Sarah, but on a line through Royal Kahala, I think Western Victory is the way I'm going to go. She seemed to relish being back over longer trips last time out after a spell of running shorter. New yard for the mare, for Emma Lavelle, and new stable jockey Tom Bellamy, who's going well, and they're getting Saturday winners quite often now, and Tom's riding with so much confidence. And I think Western Victory, I think she's rated the same as Molly's Ollie's Wishes, but I think she's better, and I think 9-4 is a fantastic price. So I'm going Western Victory to make a winning debut for the new stable. So we'll see. We move on now to the 255, which is another handicap, and it's again, I think this is an absolutely brilliant handicap chase. There's some right good horses in this. And Harry, are you going to stick with the favourite, Palmer's Hill? I think you backed it last time out, did you? Or?
No, that was you. Thank God.
I thought you were on it as well.
No.
Right.
For me, I'm going one of my cliff horses, which actually turned quite good. Fanny and Destrafal.
Yeah.
Although he does carry top weight, stepping up in distance again for the last time at Newbury. say top weight, I can't pronounce who the jockey is on board, but a £7 claimer brings the weight down a little bit. And I say it's going slightly up from 2 miles free to today's distance. The further he goes, the better. And like I said, he's a classy horse. You look back last year in his novice campaign, raced very good races, fell a couple of times. But I said, up and distant, it's a £7 claim. Fingers crossed around about 11-2. Like I said, if he can drift out to around about 7-1, small each way play. But like I said, fingers crossed, up and trip. He'll be bang there at the line.
Yeah, I think Miss Lucy Turner's on board, and she's had 4 wins to her name from 19 this season. So I think Venetia rates her very highly. Jay, are you going with the horse I think you're going to go for?
Who's the horse you think I'm going to go for?
The Killer Clown?
No. Palmer's Hill. But I'll be honest, I'm surprised he's actually running this and not being put away from the plate at Cheltenham, because off 142, that would look very, very tempting, wouldn't it? This is an 85 grand race and the winner's getting 44 grand, so it is a nice enough pot for them to come and have a go here. He's obviously, I think he's going to be here to try. I don't think there'd be any funny business going on. No. He's crying out for a step up in trip. If you see him last time out at Ascot, he looked beat turning in. And then the further he went at the line, he was just going further away. Thought John gave him a great ride that day as well. Really coaxed him along when he needed a bit of encouraging. Give him loads of confidence. He didn't jump great early on. He warmed up the further on he went. I just think this is what he wants, this type of trip. Probably even further again in time. When you look at him next to Killer Clown, they're both rated 142. For me, one's well handicapped and the other one's not so well handicapped. Killer Clown's being beat off 141, 140 and 138 quite convincingly. Got down to 135 before he beat Slatehouse last time. He's back up to 142. He hasn't proved yet that he can win off that mark, where you've got Palmer's Hill, two from 3 over fences. He's on the upgrade. We don't know his ceiling yet. Loads of pluses to him. I'd take Palmer's Hill every day of the week to beat Killer Clown, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a choppy race. Brilliant, like you say. Palmer's Hill hacked up last time out with a 3 furlong shorter, up £8, but it's probably a stronger race in my opinion. Fania Destreval up to a career high 159. That's justified because he's been brilliant this year. But Connections beats for a £7 claimer. She's very talented. 4 wins to her name from 19 this season. That's not bad going. Phoenix Way from the Harry Fry yard. I fancied him to win last time out when he's second to Ansam. He travelled beautifully into the race, but he just couldn't get on terms of the winner. I think he just outstayed a touch. And there's no obvious front runners here. I don't know what you two. Have you found any front runners?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
No. Then that could hinder Phoenix Way a little bit. But I think he's way better than his unadjusted mark of 140. He hasn't had the clips of runs in the past through injury and other stuff like that. But he seems fresh and well nowadays. So I'm going to stay loyal to Phoenix Way for the Harry Fry yard. So now we move on to, well, could be the highlight of the season if we have a proper ding-dong battle here, and it's the race everyone wanted, racing wanted. It's going to happen, isn't it, Jay?
I'm still not so sure. Unless they're at the line at the start, on the starters odds of 335, I can't get so excited because I've got a bad feeling one of them's going to drop out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that say this race shouldn't be going ahead. It should save till Cheltenham. That's rubbish. We want the best horses taking each other on every weekend if we could.
It's a great one, for God's sake.
Exactly. But the big clash, many expect it's now a reality. We're all set. It's a shame Hitman isn't here. I would love to have seen how he coped with the big 2. I think the experience wouldn't have been lost on him from the experience point of view for moving forward on his career. I think he's a fantastic young horse. Shishkin is a beast, isn't he? He's next in line from a strong roll of honour at 7 Barrows. We know a lot more about Shishkin than we do in Ergamine. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And how do you see this race playing out tactically, Harry?
Oh, I think it's going to be simple. First flow, straight to the lead. And he's going to try and take it out of them. I think for me, first flow, definitely on the lead. Nurgamin does like to be out with the pace. I think Amulagal, outsider, to be ridden, to try and get some place money. Shishkin, he's one of those horses, you can sit him anywhere. Sadly, the same was like a younger Altior, hits that flat spot. But then once he gets into top gear, picked away. Yeah, so like I said, David Bass, first flow, he's going to try and take it out of him. And Nurgamin, try and sit handy without trying to slit each other's throats. And I think Amula Gold and Shishkin just be sat just off them. And like I said, I can't even see an Ergamine finishing in the top 2. If you are going to have a bet, I would say Shishkin and First Flow on the forecast.
Is David Bass and First Flow going to go off in front, knowing that if an Ergamine does take them on, it could sacrifice their own race?
I don't think he'd be that stupid. I think he'd ride to how fast that horse can go without killing his chances.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating race from all angles, but tactically, like you said, I think it's straightforward. Would you expect Shishkin? When would you expect Nico to press the button, Jay?
Probably turn into the straight. He'll get him a little bit closer, maybe attack after the second last. He's the quickest horse, isn't he, Shishkin? Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah. Do you buy into this chink of jumping left? I don't see much of a problem in that. It's very minor, if anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to be something that costs him. He's quite a clever horse in front of his fences, isn't he? He'll adjust himself left, he'll adjust himself right. He gets over it. He won't be losing too much ground at it. I think, to be honest, Joe, I think if there's a time for an Ergamine to beat Shishkin, I do think this is it. On a track like Ascot, but I'm with Shishkin. I think Shishkin all day long, but I just think an Ergamine's best chance is at Ascot. People are getting carried away. Like, I like an Ergamine as well, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of the horse, but people last time was getting completely carried away with that hilly way race, just the fact that Notebook couldn't keep up with him. Yeah, like, Notebook is like, he's not trustworthy at all. He's so inconsistent. We've seen loads of him. He's been taken on. He spat the dummy out and dropped out the back. That's exactly what's happened there. Lesser horses have done that to him. I just think people were hyping him up a little bit over that. I've got to be honest though, like, this is the big clash that we all want to see, and it's great to see, but I think it's really disrespectful towards First Flow, to be honest, to not even be including him. I mean, his last year's winners, for God's sake, he's been so consistent. He's 6 from 9 over fences in the UK, right-handed. Like, people are thinking he's just there to make the numbers up. He's not. He's there for his own chance.
No, it's a bit. Well, remember, Curtis Star and Denman Gold Cup was just like that. It was just about them two, and Imperial Commander come along and upset the apple cart.
Yeah, of
course. So it can happen. It can happen. I mean, I still don't think we've seen the best of Shishkin, and Ergamine could be, and I hope he is the horse to bring out the best. I mean, Ruben Walsh years ago, he said to me, brilliant. It was like a horse race isn't about one horse. He said the best need the best to allow them to show their true talents. And he's right. And Saturday's a perfect example of that, hopefully.
Of course they do. And they need them good horses to increase the rating and stuff like that, because it's all right beating inferior horses 10 and 12 lengths. It's what you can do to horses that are rated pretty much the same as you. And there's only a pound between these, isn't it? So if Shishkin goes out and pumps him 6 lengths, then what a horse Shishkin is. We already know he is, but now it's time to come on, let's go and prove it.
So Shishkin wins this by 6, 7, 8 lengths. Where does an Ergamine go, Harry, at Cheltenham? Ryanair? Or does he come back for another crap?
Depends how he comes out of the race. Say if he does get smashed, say, like you said, 10 plus lengths, if he eats up well, I would just send him straight to Cheltenham, straight to the Ryanair, nice and fresh. Like I said, it's the only option you can really go. Can't get back to the champion. Say, Ascot suit a lot more than Cheltenham. So like I said, if you get a smash 10 lengths, eats up all well, Ryanair nice and fresh, at track, won't suit as well as Ascot, but the competition will be a little bit more easier.
Definitely. And if you think of what happens, Jay, and First Flow or an Ergamine beat Shishkin, we still be confident about the champion chase with him?
If either of them beat Shishkin tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, Saturday, you're going to get a nicer price on Shishkin for the champion chase. And for me, I can't see Shishkin getting beat on Saturday, but I definitely can't see him getting beat in the champion chase. I just think he's too much of a good horse. He's never been beat when he stood up. He watched Supremes, Oracles. He'll win the champion chase only. Like you say, that conveyor belt at 7 Barrows, we've had Sprinter Sacre, we've had Altior, and now we've got him. And I just think he's, until he proves otherwise, like he is the horse, isn't he?
Yeah, I've got a real connection with Shishkin. I think you lads know, I picked him up for the Supreme at 33-1. It's one of my best anti-posts ever. And from that point, you seem to like, yourself, you build a connection with him. And I just can't wait for Saturday. I absolutely can't wait. So away from the big race, who would be your strongest selection out of the ITV races we've discussed? Harry? Molly's Ollies?
Yeah, Molly's Ollies, but I think on the same card at Haydock, first race, the Grade 2 novice chase, shake him up, Harry. set from Matty. Spoke to him earlier and said the horse is in really good nick. Say won well last time at the track, 3-1, some great value. Fingers crossed. Ian Woods is on it, so he just pop him out, jump well, and I think he will take some pegging back if he can jump well. 3-1 looks more than a fair price, and fingers crossed for Matty to he can go and do the business.
Okay, Jay, strongest selection.
My day could be good or bad very early on Saturday. John going the 145 unexpected party of the Skeltons.
Okay, spot on. I think mine will probably be Western Victory in the mares hurdle. But let's thanks for that, Harry. Thanks for that, Jay. Let's fingers crossed we get the big clash and they're both there at the starting line and we get no dramas and we have a good fair race and see who the best is.
Let's enjoy it.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and like Jay, let's just enjoy the race and the spectacle it's going to be. We'll see you next week for Cheltenham Trials Day. Brilliant. Thank you very much.